My name is Kaito, and I live with my parents in Tokyo. When I was 11, I spent the summer with my grandparents in rural Japan. It was there that I first heard the legend of Hachishakusama, the 8-foot-tall woman. The village was small, surrounded by rice fields, with cicadas buzzing in the warm air. I was eager for adventure, unaware of the lurking danger. The first time I heard the sound, I was playing in the garden. A soft, rhythmic poo, poo, poo floated on the breeze, barely audible over the rustling leaves. I paused, looking around, but saw nothing unusual. I shrugged it off, thinking it was just the wind or some distant noise. That evening, as we sat down for dinner, I mentioned the sound to my grandparents. Their reaction was immediate and serious. My grandmother's face turned pale, and my grandfather's hand shook as he set down his chopsticks. They exchanged a look. I couldn't understand. A mix of fear and urgency. That evening, my grandparents received an urgent call from a neighbor who needed their help. They assured me they would return soon.
Stay inside tonight.
My grandmother said firmly.
And don't open the door for anyone.
I nodded, confused but obedient. After dinner, my grandparents began an unusual ritual. My grandmother placed bowls of salt in each corner of my room, whispering prayers as she worked. A small Buddha statue was set on a wooden box in the center, its calm eyes watching over me. "Why are you doing this?" I asked, curious.
"It's for protection,"
My grandfather replied, his voice serious.
"Hachishakusama is a spirit that goes after children. Once she notices you, she won't stop until she takes you away."
I felt a cold fear settle over me, the weight of their words sinking in. That night, I lay in bed, the room dimly lit by the moonlight coming through the curtains. The air was tense, every creak and rustle sounding louder in the silence. Around midnight, I heard it again. The soft, haunting poo, poo, poo echoing through the night. My heart raced as I pulled the covers up to my chin, my eyes darting to the window. The sound grew louder, closer, each repetition filling me with fear. Then a voice, gentle and familiar, called from outside my door.
It's okay, Kaito. It's just me, your grandmother. Let me in.
I shook, so relieved, but something held me back. I glanced at the bowls of salt, now darkened and clumped, a stark contrast to their pristine state earlier. My grandmother's warning echoed in my mind, and I hesitated, my hand hovering over the doorknob. Driven by curiosity, I crouched down and peered through the keyhole. My breath caught in my throat as I saw a long, pale figure standing outside. It was a woman, impossibly tall, her face obscured by the shadows, but her eyes were fixed on the door, calling my name in my grandmother's voice.
Open the door, Kaito.
The voice insisted, the doorknob rattling softly. I backed away, fear gripping me. The voice, once comforting, now had a desperate edge that made me uneasy. I squeezed my eyes shut, hoping the presence would leave, the sound of poo, poo echoing in my ears. The night seemed to go on forever. I clung to the hope that morning would bring safety, that daylight would chase away the darkness that had crept into my room. Finally, as the sky began to lighten, the presence faded, leaving only silence behind. Tired but relieved, I stumbled out of my room, finding my grandparents waiting anxiously in the hallway. Their faces softened with relief as they hugged me tightly, their fear turning to gratitude.
You did well.
My grandmother whispered, her voice filled with emotion.
You stayed strong.
In the days that followed, I learned more about Hachishakusama. She was a spirit who is very angry. She always wants to find children because she is very hungry for them. The villagers spoke of her in hushed tones, their eyes darting nervously, as if she might appear at any moment. I went into the village, looking for more information about the spirit. A woman weaving a basket told me that she had seen the spirit and warned me that Hachishakusama is drawn to the innocence of children. The woman explained that the spirit had lost something precious and now sought to fill that emptiness by taking children. But her presence only brought sorrow. I shivered. Is there no way to stop her? The woman shook her head.
Once she has set her sights on someone, the only escape is to leave. You must go far away, where her reach cannot extend.
The only way to escape her clutches, she said, was to leave Japan entirely. Once marked by her, you could never return, for she would find you the moment you set foot on Japanese soil. As the summer came to an end, my grandparents made arrangements for me to return to the city. I left with a heavy heart, the memory of the spirit and that night staying with me. As I grew up, I couldn't forget Hachishakusama. I wondered if she still roamed the countryside, searching for her next victim. Even as an adult, I sometimes hear her haunting poo, poo, poo. Before sleep, a chilling reminder of that summer. Though I am far from her, I know she still haunts my memories.